What's up, everybody? I am the CEO of the Lollipop Guild.
What's up? I am Black and I'm Irish, not to be confused with Black Irish.
I actually am.
And I'm still just married.
And we are
Mert in the Midwest.
Welcome back, everybody, our mid-merkers. As always, this is a podcast where we do what we want, where we veer off topic and we laugh but we still make sure that we give you the information of the case.
Yes.
And if ever we miss something, we always follow it back up and put it out there as well.
Yeah.
If you are looking for a podcast that gets straight to the point, that does not have any side conversation,
this ain't
great
it
for you, but this ain't it. So exit stage left.
Bye.
As for those people that love us, we love you too, and thank you for watching.
Yep, and just stay right here because it's gonna be a good one.
Advice about podcasts. Show us how a podcast is supposed to be done. Since you know everything.
Thank you. No, really though. So, we are going to be talking about Mr. William. That's just a name. But we're going to be talking about Mr. William Bonin.
Boning, he be boning. Sorry.
We too childish.
I'm so childish. You can't have a name like that and think I'm not saying nothing.
Boning.
William George Bonin.
You gotta call him Bill.
Was born in
Billy Bonin.
Willimantic, Connecticut. Did you say Billy Bonin?
Billy Bonin.
Bonin.
Childish.
Sorry.
Okay. I'm back,
serious.
and I'm ready.
Okay. And I'm gonna get myself together.
So he was born in Willimantic, Connecticut on January 8th, 1947. So he's a Capricorn.
Oh.
January 8th?
Yeah.
Dang, we didn't have two Capricorns.
Says something about them Capricorns.
But you already read about them.
Yes.
I know. We already told y'all.
Yeah.
So don't
Pay
be surprised.
attention. Pay attention.
He was the second of three sons.
Okay.
His parents were Robert Leonard Bonin Sr. and Alice Dorothy Coate. A little back.
Those are some last names. Bonin and Coate.
And so, a little information on his parents. Both of them were alcoholics. His father was actually a World War II veteran.
Okay.
They said that he had a really, really bad temper. He actually physically abused his wife and children.
I was just about to give him some grace to him, like, well, that's probably why he drank World War II. That'll do it. But no.
His mother suffered from severe mood swings. And so she would go to like bingo tournaments and like leave the kids unattended.
Well,
Like,
You know what though? The 70s was like that.
Yeah.
The 70s, I know, I can say I have at least two friends that their parents in that area and time, and they were left unattended.
Okay.
And definitely parents was getting it in, partying and not giving a damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
The kids will be fine.
They'll be fine.
Don't open the door. Don't answer the phone.
Yep.
Well, his mother was actually described as a domineering and emasculating woman.
Jeez.
Oh, fuck.
He was fucked from the beginning.
Yeah, from the very beginning. So, in January 1950, William's father, who also was a compulsive gambler,
Oh my God.
he actually gambled away their home, which then forced them to move in with
Baby, it ain't never
William's maternal grandmother.
Oh my God. So we got two damn drunks. One done gambled away their livelihood. Now they gotta go live with the mama's mama. They still probably damn drunks. Leaving their fucking kids in the car while the mama go play bingo. Them kids was fucked.
Yep.
From the start.
Damn.
So William and his brothers were actually raised as Catholic. And they were baptized according to the church doctrine. This is just giving a little bit more information on the background.
And adding a little Catholic guilt to it.
Yeah, they attended St. Mary's Catholic School. And so while there, the staff constantly made complaints of William's behavior. They said that he was aggressive towards other students, truant, which can't necessarily be held against him. And,
especially if the parents out drunk.
And even
all
the aggressiveness towards other
Mm-hmm.
students, if you're getting beat at home.
It's like it is that form. So, that thing they say, like, abuse people when they can't get back at their attacker, they take it out on others.
Yep. And so they constantly made complaints about that. But after he took his bike and he rode his bike into a group of young girls. Like, basically, he's still a kid, but there was a group of girls, and he just, like, he took his bike and rode into them. Like, he was, like, he was a bowling ball, and they were a bowling ball.
Oh, my God.
So, after that, he was briefly placed in a juvenile hall. And then, after going back home, he basically just went back to more punishment.
So, remember how we talked about I think it was our mixed bag episode about rehabilitation?
Mm-hmm.
That is a time that I would say it's time for rehabilitation.
Yeah, at this point.
At that point. He, at this point, is doing petty things. So that would have been a perfect time to figure out what was happening in the home and what was causing this. And that would have been a time that things could have turned around.
Because the fact that y'all were able to take him as a kid and put him in a juvenile hall for this, but y'all didn't do any research to see that he was being beat at home, to put his father in prison for beating.
Or remove him from the home.
Or remove that. But it's like
remove him and his brothers from the damn home.
This would have been the time where...
That would have been a time to heal it, to work on it, to get it. And maybe he wouldn't have had, like, a perfect childhood and he would have had struggles still. But that would have been a point where something could have been done.
Yeah. Right.
Well, on September 6, 1953, William and his older brother, Robert Jr., they were placed at Franco-American School, which was a Catholic convent. And it was located in Lowell, Massachusetts. This convent really, we're a disciplinary school.
Oh, so they're
harsh discipline.
And them kids don't need no more damn abuse.
Yeah, like extreme assault was like very, very common.
That's terrible.
William actually was stated recalling being forced to punch a fence by the nuns when he misbehaved.
What?
That ain't even normal punishment. Like, a paddle is normal punishment. Punch a fence.
But the records indicated that William, like, during this time he was observed, they actually said that he functioned well in this structured environment.
You know why he functioned well? Because he was used to being abused. Lord have mercy.
So according to some witnesses, he was bullied. And before being defended by a 13-year-old orphan in 1955. So according to William, the teenager took him to a restroom for sexual advances and tied his hands with a towel. But he says it was William. William says he requested for his hands to be tied with a towel.
No, he probably says that to make himself feel better about it. Because at some point, he's trying to feel some form of control. Nobody wants to be sexually abused. And so the only way probably he can function to reconcile with what happened to him is to say, well, I told him to do it. Who wants to be fucking raped or assaulted? And come on, that's horrible.
Yeah. So he was sexually assaulted by this boy. And so it's crazy because he was being bullied. This boy defended him against the bullies to then take him and rape him. During this time, like, his parents didn't visit. Neither one of them.
They're busy.
And so he actually stated that he thought that maybe his parents had died.
Can you imagine? He thought, so they didn't even call him.
No. And he was there until... So again, we know he came there September 6, 1953. Mm-hmm. He was there till May 31st, 1955. So basically 2 years. Mm-hmm. And in 2 years, they did not call, visit. He thought they were dead. But he left there and he returned to live with his parents. and in the home that was his mother's
his grandma's home.
His mother's grandfather. So now they were in Mansfield, Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
So in Mansfield, William attended Annie Vinton Elementary School with his younger brother Paul. He was teased, bullied. They called him Bugsy Bonin.
You can't have a last name.
That sounds like a mob boss.
It sounds like a mob boss.
It was mean, but it was still kind of like.
But you can't have that last name Bonin and ain't nobody saying nothing.
I would have ran off with that shit.
First of all, I would have just changed it. Listen, it was a time when people was changing their names to whatever the fuck they wanted any damn way. It wouldn't have been Bonin, babe. It wouldn't have been that. It would have been. I would have took Coates. Coates is fine.
Call me Coates.
Yep.
But basically he was teased for being poorly dressed, unhygienic. He constantly was getting in fights with students, but what do you expect? He grew up in an abusive environment, went to this school where he was abused, and now he's getting picked on and teased on again at a new location.
And violated.
We finna fight.
Yeah.
We finna fight.
Shit over.
He says he recalls feeling shame at his sexual attraction to younger children and male teachers. Neighbors later, they later failed to recollect. They said the parents spending time with any of their children. And then one neighbor actually says they remember seeing that the kids were unkept and in a hungry condition. And they would occasionally provide meals and clean clothes to them.
So wait a minute, hold on.
I feel like
Pause. So the parents ain't doing shit, but the grandparents ain't doing shit either. Cause how are you gonna be a grandparent and these kids living in your house and they ain't eating and they dirty?
And you know how grandparents are.
You know how grandparents are.
But
I can tell you there have been times that I have witnessed my sister being so dog tired that she come home and all she can do is just sit down and then she fall asleep, right? Yeah. My mother ain't no way in hell.
These kids ain't eating.
She gonna feed them. She gonna get them ready for bed. She know her daughter is tired. So the grandparents didn't give a shit either. Obviously they didn't, because damn kids was damn alcoholics, because the parents probably fucking alcoholics.
Yeah. I feel like
throw the whole family away.
When you have these neighbors recollecting old events and they're like, well, I remember them being hungry and unkempt, and so me, from the goodness of my heart, I used to provide them with meals and clean clothes. And it's like, how often were you doing that if they were being bullied for dirty clothes and stuff like that? So,
but you know what too, so this I can speak to. One of my friends from a while, we've been friends for a little bit, when she was younger, she had her parents had divorced. She was living with her mom, and her mom was neglectful. She would be outside, she's little, would be outside sometimes without any supervision. Her brother, who was a couple of years older than her, would try his best. Their dad was out, in the military, so he wasn't physically there, and they were divorced. The dad did the most that he could when he was there. But the brother, who was only a couple of years older than her, would try his best to care for her. He would try to feed her, but he's a kid too, and so she would be dirty, and it would be the neighbors who would see her out and would try to redirect her to the home. And when they saw that there was no adult in charge there, they would call, and then CPS would come, and then the mom would clean it up for a couple of minutes, and then it would just be this cycle until the dad actually ended up getting custody, and the mom was out of the picture for a long time.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that there aren't neighbors out there that step up and make the
and maybe they did the best that they could.
It's just hard to say with
the way that they were,
especially because they have different pieces in here where William is, stating, well, I remember this as a kid and I remember this as a kid. I didn't see anywhere where he mentioned neighbors.
Big people are being good to him.
Yeah. So, for him to say, well, I remember them calling me this name or being picked on for this and that, And it could be that it happened, but he was surrounded by so much negative that he refused to acknowledge the positive that was happening.
Because so many bad things were happening. Yeah, that's possible too.
That's
or maybe even that he didn't even know that those positive things were happening.
Well, it was until William first got incarcerated, and we'll talk about that whole history. Mm-hmm. The children were left with their maternal grandfather by his mother, who was actually a known child molester who had sexually abused her.
Girl, get the fuck.
Fucking done.
All right. All right.
Can we throw this story away? Can we throw it away, y'all? She said trigger warning, but I'm fucking done. This story is not getting any better, and it don't sound like it's getting any better.
Because we're just in his background. We haven't even gotten to the things that he did.
Okay.
It doesn't get any better. It doesn't.
How do you fucking leave your kids with a damn child molester? And you know he did it because he did it to you. Man, what the fuck was wrong with you?
And she later, like, she states that she believed that her father molested his grandsons. Well, but no mother does.
So the whole family's just deranged.
So the whole family is jacked up.
And what was your reasoning for leaving your kids with? Because you were so busy getting drunk that you had to leave them there? Or because you toughed it out, you think your kids can tough it out? Mm-mm. What kind of fucking mama are you? Mm-mm. Yeah, blaming the parents. That's me. Blaming this damn parent. She's fucked up.
Because not only did she leave them with the child molester grandfather, the father was still there, who was still physically abusing them.
That's what. So, and I'm not defending this, but you're married and you aren't divorced, so maybe you don't see anything way out. And physical abuse, if it's happening to you and it's happening to your kids, and that's your relationship, I'm not saying it's okay, that I can understand a little bit, because that's their dad. And you haven't had any means of removing them from their life. But you brought them, it ain't their daddy, it's their grandfather. You brought them to a fucking child molester?
And left them.
You deserve hell.
Yeah, baby.
So, going into some of like the smaller like criminal things he did, William would like steal hubcaps, license plates, metal tags off of vehicles around town. Mm-hmm. In 1957, he was placed in a juvenile detention center again, and that was all for these like petty crimes. While he was incarcerated, he was actually molested by an adult counselor.
Well, what the fuck?
So, after he was released, this is kind of like where it turned.
It's like breeding a psychopath. Yeah. That this is literally the breeding of psychopath.
Well, like the one episode where we talked about, how some people's upbringings plays a big part in.
This is a huge part. I mean, every way
this is definitely nurture.
Every way you turn, even the people that's supposed to be safe for you ain't safe. I mean, the family, we already know that's fucked up. But you go to school where they're supposed to be helping you. These are supposed to be Christian folk. Mm-hmm. And these Christians got you punching damn walls and shit. And then, or fences. You got a person that's
like that.
supposed to be counseling you and they raping you. Oh my God.
So, following his release from this juvenile detention center, he sexually fondled his younger brother, Paul.
Not shocking.
Then after 6 months, Paul told their mother about it.
Who didn't give a damn.
And so the way she solved it was he was forced to sleep in a separate bedroom.
That's not how you fix it.
She's useless. We've discovered this already.
Later,
she's just the incubator.
Later, William confessed to molesting young boys and exposing himself to a 10-year-old girl. This was around his just entering his teenage years. Mm-hmm. He attempted incestuous acts with older female cousin. So, we're getting into adolescence. In 1959, William attended middle school adjacent to Coventry High School.
It's interesting to me that it seems like he has more fear for women than he does for men, because He will assault men, children, but he only attempts with women.
When you've been beat by a male, your father,
you have more rage toward them.
When you've been child molested by your grandfather,
you have more rage.
Then you go to juvenile detention and you're molested by a male counselor. When you were young and being bullied, and the 13-year-old boy saved you just to take you in the bathroom and rape you.
Yeah.
Men have hurt you. The male figure has done nothing but hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
And this is all before before entering high school.
Mm-hmm.
So in 1959, he attended middle school adjacent to Coventry High School. He loved math, science, was really good at it, but outside of that, he was a mediocre student.
Okay.
In late 1960, the family faced foreclosure, and so at this point, the mother, I guess, came back and kicked their father out of the home, winning custody of the children.
Okay.
However, I'm telling you, this story is like a merry-go-round. The parents reconciled. I'm
sick of her.
After the father was offered a really great job as a machinist in Downey, California.
Mm-hmm.
In early 1962, they purchased a tract home in nearby Torrance. So, William attended North High School in Torrance, where he was known as a social outcast. Although his younger brother, Paul, he later stated that he kind of thought William was like he viewed him as a well-behaved teenager.
Well, no shit. Look at what he has as an example of what behaving is.
William was uncomfortable around peers. He was not known to form any friendships. Instead, he kind of just went to the local bowling alley. That was his
outlet.
Yeah. By his teenage years, William, he had kind of like almost a schizophrenic interest in pedophilia, but he would keep all of his feelings a secret.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing he felt like it was another side of him. I can't, there's a part of me that can't control this interest that I have in pedophilia.
Mm-hmm.
This became a big problem with his relationship with his mother, which led to them having freaking arguments.
That's what she chose to have arguments about.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Of all things.
He was rarely known to court or interact with girls. But despite this, he did actually date a girl named Linda to please his mother.
What did Linda think about him? Yeah, no.
Okay. After dropping out of high school in 1966, William molested several of the neighborhood children.
Lord have mercy.
His mother refused to acknowledge his behaviors or these acts, but she was also worried that he would get arrested. Y'all want to know how she solved it?
She told him to go to a different bedroom? Oh, wait, no. That was the other thing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
She prayed for him and warned him often.
She's really giving me mental illness. She's got to be mentally ill. Warned him?
Hey, if you keep touching them young boys, you might get arrested.
And let me pray. Let us pray.
Our Father.
Help my child that I have completely effed up. And, just help him.
Yeah.
This bitch delusional as fuck.
She more delusional than me, but my child is.
Yeah, no, she got you way beat.
Baby.
So, eventually, the mother was evicted from the household. They don't say reasons why. William.
There's so much evictions going on.
Due to lack of motivation and having to borrow money from his parents, he decided to join the United States Air Force in December of 1966. I know how you feel. As soon as anything United States Army comes up in the military at all, you're like,
oh, I can't. Why are we? You know what, America? America, why are we not doing psychological evaluations? Let's just do a baby background check. Just a baby one.
On what, to get in the military?
Before you teach them how to be freaking killers, can we see?
They do.
Now, this was 1966.
Oh, they probably didn't have.
Not one bit.
Not one bit.
Because
you signed this paper.
They're like,
because if we go back just on the stories we've covered.
you like, hey.
Not one bit.
No.
They was just like, bring them in. We need a
Sign
body.
here.
What's up?
Sign here.
So you got
Here's
a
your
left
bonus
foot,
check.
a right foot. You
Well,
can read.
Can you see without glasses?
Things now are, they're looking up because he
goddamn
joined the United States Air Force
And
and,
we're gonna teach him how to
he
be a
also
killer.
is engaged to Linda.
I want to know. I need to talk to Linda. Is Linda still alive? How old was Linda then?
So, but the reason why he got engaged to Linda is because his mother told him, she pushed him to do it, and she said, it might quell your attraction to pubescent boys. Marry Linda and you might not be attracted to little boys no more.
Meanwhile,
What is
all
wrong
these
with this
Never
woman. That might help you. Ma'am, you never thought about, well, you did think about counseling, and the counselor you sent him to raped him. But really, ma'am?
They didn't send him to counseling. He went to juvenile detention and they're the counselor.
Well,
they didn't send him there. They didn't care about that boy. But anyway, so during his military service, he completed a general equivalence, a GED basically, and served as a cook for 4 months in Alaska. In October 25th of 1967, he was arrested for theft, but the charges were dropped
But he's still like,
due to the fact that he was then deployed to Vietnam.
Well, duh.
They was like, hey, drop the charges, send him over.
draft his ass.
He served 5 months of active duty in the 205th Assault Support Helicopter Unit as an aerial gunner.
That was the wrong thing to let him do.
William later claimed that his wartime experiences instilled misanthropic beliefs.
What? It's fine to kill people?
Despite this, he is known to have risked his life on an occasion under enemy fire to save a wounded fellow airman. He did risk his life to save a wounded airman. And he actually received a medal and recognition.
That's the only positive thing I've heard in this whole fucking story. The only positive. What the?
I had a joke behind that, but no, I'm gonna just leave it.
Well, according to William,
Girl.
he apparently engaged in allegedly consensual relations with 4 young girls, and also had a number of homosexual encounters. While
Wait a
in
minute.
Vietnam.
With 4 young girls, as he's an adult, he had consensual relationships.
How old was he at this time?
I'm sure it was real
This
consensual.
was in 1967. What year did I say he was born? He was 20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was 20.
It was consensual.
So, and also, like I said, a number of homosexual encounters while in Vietnam. He as well did get a session with a 25-year-old female prostitute in Hong Kong.
Did he pay?
He said he did.
Mm-hmm.
He also confessed to sexually assaulting 2 soldiers under his command at gunpoint. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But he got a medal for saving that one private that was injured.
Just had to use the word private, baby.
Childish.
William served nearly 3 years in the Air Force before receiving a honorable.
What?
Honorable.
We holding people at gunpoint to rape them, but you're honorably discharged. Let me make sure you get your full benefits and your GI Bill.
Yep.
Thank you for your service.
That was on October 25th,
What the
1968,
hell?
at age 21.
So when he assaulted these men that were under his leadership or whatever, did they make cases? Did they go forward and say this?
Probably not.
So he just offered that up. They probably didn't say it because they were probably ashamed that it happened to him. Lord have mercy.
That, and probably also because they were under his command, probably thought, oh, he's higher up. He's gotten a medal. Are they going to believe us?
Yeah.
All those questions that come with the typical rape victim.
Mm-mm.
So he was discharged, and upon returning home, he discovered that Linda, who had given birth to their son, had left him to marry another man.
Good. Linda, I like you. You're smart one.
Run, girl!
Run fast.
During his engagement, though, he repeatedly this goes back to the bedroom talk. He repeatedly told his fiance that he had recurring nightmares about the sexual assault and murder of a young woman.
All right.
So that's the signs of a serial killer. It's the signs of a killer, basically. When pillow talk becomes murder of any sort.
I've been having dreams.
Nah,
Let me
baby.
just curl up and tell you what I've been having dreams about.
And so apparently the end of his relationship left him extremely frustrated, even though he didn't want to be with her anyway. Because
he wanted to rape little boys.
He began working as a gas station attendant.
How you come back from dang on Air Force with a medal and work as a gas station attendant?
He returned to Downey to
you
live with his parents.
Job somewhere.
Yeah.
You have a medal and you can't flip that into a better job than a gas station attendant?
And some people don't want more. They just want the lesser.
And you were a cook, so you could at least go work somewhere and be a damn cook. A gas station attendant?
Gas station attendant. So then he moved back with his parents, and they were having problems because they constantly requested his help. And so some of his family members said,
I bet I wouldn't help you.
I bet not. You better not ask me for a
damn thing. Until y'all out in the street hungry and smelling bad. Until y'all go through that, don't talk to me. Because that's how y'all had me.
I had a glass of water, I would drink
that shit. Hell yeah. You think I'm helping you after y'all had me out here bad forever?
Well, some family members noted a difference in him and his behavior after his military service. So we're going to blame it on the military rather than blaming it on how jacked up y'all had his childhood.
The military did it to him. That's what did it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the military. So now we get into the details of his crimes. So,
Billy.
Mr. William George Bonin, with the help of 4 others. Their names are Gregory Matthew Miley, James Michael Monroe.
Wait a minute. Gregory Michael Miley?
No, Gregory Matthew Miley.
Gregory Matthew Miley.
Yeah.
What's the next
James Michael Monroe.
I can't say it.
Vernon Robert Butts.
Do we think, parents, that naming of the children has anything to do with why your kids turn out so fucked up?
And William Ray Pugh. P-U-G-H. Pew. So those were the 4 co-defendants.
Jesus Christ.
So, Mr. William George Bonin, he later required the name the Freeway Killer.
Of course, another one.
He was charged with he kidnapped, robbed, raped, and murdered a total of 14 teenage boys between the years 1979 and 1980.
You stealing money from kids?
His co-defendants were also young men between the ages of 17 and 21.
Down bad Olympics.
So he was also suspected of murdering other males whose bodies were found around the same period of time in Kern, Riverside, San Diego, and San Bernardino counties. But he was not persecuted for those crimes. When the crime started, on August 5th, 1979, the defendant and co-defendant, Mr. Butts, accosted Marcus Grabs.
Bonin Butts. Sorry. Sorry.
Hey.
Sorry.
Child.
Stop talking.
She crying.
Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna get it together. Okay.
How she gonna just slip it in there?
Boning butts.
Well, obviously.
I hate y'all. I hate y'all. Y'all so child.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh man, we are so unserious, y'all. Oh my god.
Back to it.
Back to the episode. Ooh, Lash, don't fall off now, because I'm over here laughing. Oh, shit.
We're gonna give Lou time to fix her laugh. Oh, are we laughing too loud for y'all?
Right, we don't care.
Because I can laugh louder.
I'm serious now.
No, but for real. Okay, so Marcus, like I said, he was a German student on a backpacking tour of the United States. He was actually sodomized, beaten, and stabbed 77 times.
What?
Yeah.
What in the fuck?
Yeah.
77 times?
77 times. His nude body was found the next day beside a road in Malibu with a orange nylon cord loosely wrapped behind his head and a piece of ignition wire around one of his ankles.
So he tied him up and then murdered him, or
Raped him and then murdered him. On August 27th, so same month, same year, 1979, so it was about 20 days later, 22 days, at 1 a.m., the defendant in Butts picked up Donald Hayden. He was 15. They picked him up near the Gay Community Services Center in Los Angeles. Don't look at me, please. Please just don't look at me. Oh. They picked him up at the Gay Community Services Center in Los Angeles. This was, like I said, this was around 1 a.m. His new body was found at 11 a.m. near Liberty Canyon and the off-ramp of the Ventura Freeway.
what was a 15-year-old child doing out at 1 a.m.?
I don't know. Donald had been strangled by ligature and stabbed. He had been sodomized, and it appeared that attempts had been made to cut off his testicles and slash his throat.
Oh no.
On September 9th, so 2 weeks later, 1979, in the early morning, David Murillo, age 17, was bicycling to the movies in La Mirada when the defendant and co-defendant abducted him. David's nude body was found 3 days later on a Ventura Highway off-ramp. His head had been bashed in with a tire iron, and he had been sodomized and strangled with a ligature. On February 3rd, 1980, so this was a few months later, in the early morning, the defendant was driving a van with co-defendant Miley. He picked up Charles Miranda, age 15, in West Hollywood. They drove several blocks away, parked, and the defendant sodomized Charles. The co-defendant tried to sodomize him, but was unable to sustain an erection. After the co-defendant took $6 from Charles, the two men tied his feet and hands together. William wrapped Charles' shirt around his neck. Using a jack handle, William twisted the shirt like a corkscrew until Charles was dead. The autopsy also revealed that
These
a blunt
are
object...
so brutal.
This is fucking twisted.
It's hatred. Like, it's hatred.
For males.
It's hatred like that. There's like it. Like,
there's no other explanation.
This isn't like you have a sexual.
This is sadistic.
Yeah. And so, the autopsy revealed that a blunt object had been inserted into Charles' anus. The defendants then drove to an alley in downtown Los Angeles, dumped his nude body, and drove to Huntington Beach seeking other victims. A while later, they began talking to James McCabe, who was 12. He said he was on his way to Disneyland. They invited James into the van. While William had sex with him, Miley drove. Later, the two men held James down, beat him, strangled him with his shirt, and crushed his neck with a jack handle.
Oh my God.
After taking money out of James' wallet, the defendants left his body next to a dumpster in the city of Walnut, where it was found February 6th. On March 14th, 1980, Ronald Gatlin, age 19, was picked up by the defendant in Van Nuys at about 8:30 p.m. Ronald's nude body was found the next day in Duarte near the juncture of the 210 and 605 freeways. He had been sodomized and strangled with a ligature. There were wounds to the neck and right ear that apparently had been made by an ice pick, and the body showed signs of beating. Sometime on or after March 20th, 1980, William Bonin, as well as the co-defendant William Pugh, picked up Harry Todd Turner, age 14, in Hollywood. Harry's nude body was found the morning of March 25th in an alley behind a Los Angeles business. He had been beaten, sodomized, and strangled by ligature. On April 10th, 1980.
Damn!
Yeah. Stephen Wood, age 16, was picked up by William at about 12:15 p.m. in Los Angeles. Stephen's new body was found the next morning in an alley behind an industrial complex near the Pacific Coast Highway and Long Beach Freeway. He too had been beaten, sodomized, and strangled by ligature. On April 29, 1980, at 9:15 p.m., William and co-defendant Butts were back to him working with Butts. They accosted Darren Lee Kendrick, age 19, in the parking lot of a supermarket in Stanton. Darren had been collecting shopping carts and was lured into the van on the pretext of being sold some drugs.
Oh, hell no.
His new body was found the next morning in an industrial park in Carson near the Artesia Freeway. In addition to being sodomized and strangled, Darren apparently was forced to ingest chlorohydrate, which left him with caustic chemical burns on his mouth, chin, chest, and stomach.
Oh.
He also had an ice pick through his right ear that caused a fatal wound to the upper cervical spinal cord.
What the fuck?
I told y'all from the beginning it was a trigger warning.
Sick shit.
On June 2nd, 1980, at about 5:40 p.m., William Bonin and the co-defendant James Monroe were driving a van in Downey when they picked up a hitchhiker, Stephen J. Wells. He was 18. Initially, Stephen agreed to have sex with William. Later, he allowed himself to be tied up, expecting to be paid for having sex with a friend of William's. William and Monroe tied Stephen up, took his money, beat him, strangled him with his t-shirt, and they placed his body in a cardboard box and carried it out to the van. At about 8 p.m., they drove to the residence of Butts, and who told them to take the body and drop it off somewhere. Monroe and William then drove to Huntington Beach, where they left Stephen's new body at the rear of a closed gas station, where it was found June 3rd, so the next day. The defendant, William, he was apprehended after co-defendant William Pugh, who was 17 at the time, was arrested on auto theft charges on May 29, 1980. He told detectives that he had accepted a ride home from a party with William, who had talked about killing young boys. And William was placed under surveillance beginning June 2nd, 1980. So basically, William Pugh got picked up on auto theft charges, and I guess to distract him from that, he was like, well, I accepted a ride home from this guy.
And he trying to put it off.
Yeah. On June 11th, 1980, Williams' van was followed to Hollywood. He was observed talking to 5 different young men standing on street corners before 15-year-old Harold T. entered his van. William parked the car with Harold still inside in a vacant lot on Santa Monica Boulevard. Despite Harold's resistance, William orally copulated him. Shortly after, William was apprehended in the act of raping and sodomizing Harold. The police found a length of white nylon cord and 3 knives in the van. During the same time period as the Los Angeles murders, Bonin and 2 of the co-defendants murdered 4 other young men in Orange County. So they weren't just doing it with William. They were doing it independently
as well. Lord.
On December 2nd, 1979,
that's wild to see.
The body of Dennis Frank Fox, who was 17, was found along Ortega Highway about 5 miles east of the San Diego Freeway. On March 22nd, 1980, the bodies of Russell Rowe, age 15, and Glenn Barker, age 14, were found a few miles further east along the same road. And on May 18, 1980, the body of Lawrence Sharp, age 17, was found in a trash bin behind a service station in Westminster. All of their victims were hitchhikers whom they say they had picked up in the van and then killed by strangulation. They were So it looks like William was actually assisting them with this because it says that it was William, Miley, and Monroe. Or no, sorry, it is Bonin. So it was Bonin and Miley and Monroe. Those were the other 2 co-defendants that were doing all of this.
But both Williams were involved.
And these 4, not William Bonin.
Okay.
Yeah. Bonin
was,
William
but
Bonin,
not the other.
Not
okay.
Butts.
Okay.
And so, so then it did say that all of their bodies showed signs of physical beating, and the cause of death for each one was strangulation by ligature.
How the fuck did all these creeps get together again? How did they?
And they, again, were using this bar to kind of corkscrew the cord until the victims were dying.
But like, you get what I'm saying? Like, where?
Like, there's a forum.
And you get together and you're like, you know what, y'all?
You know what though? But they say like people are like they can pick up on people that are like them, and so William probably doing it on his own, probably like came across somebody and he saw himself in them. Like, you know, they say that like they can kind of like pick themselves out of the crowd.
That's sick. Oh my god.
Bonin was convicted of these 4 Orange County murders while he had already been convicted for the 10 others he had committed in Los Angeles County. So, little more information.
This is disturbing as hell.
There. Right. Very fucking sick and twisted, for real.
So, going into convictions, like the arrests. So as I said, he was caught actually in the act of raping. Initially, he was charged with the rape of a minor and held on suspicion of the murder of one of the little boys, Miranda, last name Miranda. Bonin was detained in lieu of $250,000 bond. Shortly after, his girlfriend notified his boss of his arrest, adding that the arrest was in connection to the freeway killer case and causing Monroe already, Monroe, I guess, worked with Bonin. That's how they met. He was already apprehensive about Bonin being absent, and so he became frantic. The following day, Monroe stole Williams' car and fled to Michigan, where he resided temporarily with a friend before he was arrested.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they worked together, and over lunch they talking about, yeah, dude, let's strangle somebody today and let's rape them, and fucking yeah, it'll be. What you want to do after work? You want to go hitchhike and find people to kill?
No, I just want to go home and go to sleep. Take a shower and go to sleep.
Well,
what the fuck, man?
More evidence inside William's van. They discovered numerous artifacts attesting to, him being involved in the freeway killer murders.
Of course, because they sound like they so busy out here just killing every damn body. They ain't got time to clean up.
Some of the items were the nylon cord, assortment of knives, a tire iron, pliers, wire coat hangers.
Oh my God.
Further, after they examined the interior, of course, they found extensive traces of bloodstains. And the inner handles from the passenger side and rear doors of the vehicles had been removed.
So they couldn't get out.
Exactly. And inside the glove box, there was a scrapbook of newspaper clippings related to the murders.
Oh, so not only were they doing the murders, now they're really enjoying the stories that they're writing about them. Like, look what we did, guys. Let's scrapbook it.
Yeah. So initially William was like, I'm innocent in the murders. But he then did confess his guilt to St. John after reading a letter from the mother of one of the victims, Sean King, imploring him to reveal the location of her son's body.
William, that's what turned him and made him have some sympathy in the heart.
He said he made sure to clarify that he did it not to ease the mother's pain, but the knowledge that because King was buried in San Bernardino County, police would likely buy him a hamburger for lunch on the extensive trip.
I'm sick of him.
Stating that
and his fucked up mama.
Stating
these motherfuckers
I was
think
dying for a hamburger, and I knew that if I went out with the cops, they would get me a hamburger.
I hope you choked on.
But y'all want to hear his confession?
I hope that freaking hamburger, the freaking fat from the hamburger, was like clogging up his arteries, and later on he had a massive
coronary.
Oh my God, a hamburger, sir. Mm-mm. This story is infuriating me.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It has just wait. Okay, so his confession. I tied him up with nylon, this electrician type of wire. I pulled a knife on him. And sorry, this is in regards to Marcus grabs.
Okay.
And he got scared. I stabbed him in the left arm. It surprised me that I did it. I stabbed him again, and then again, and again, and again, until he was helpless. They would try to stop me from stabbing them, and I would just stab just to stab. I stuck them with a knife in different places because I didn't know where to stab, I didn't know where the vital organs were or anything like that. This is from a portion of his taped confession.
Sir.
Mm-mm.
You didn't know where the vital organs were?
So.
You didn't know where the fucking vital organs were? Now, I can say that maybe you didn't have that much in school that you paid attention to. I can agree with that because you had a fucked up childhood. But sir, you in the fucking military. They teach you where to shoot to kill people.
And he was an aerial gunman.
Sir.
Mm-mm.
Well,
you don't know where the vital fucking organs are.
Over the course of several evenings, William, he confessed to abducting, raping, and killing 21 young men and boys.
Oh my God.
And he made sure to give every graphic detail.
Because he was reliving it and enjoying it.
He expressed no remorse. But he did demonstrate extreme embarrassment and regret about being caught.
Well, no shit.
He's like, oh, but damn, y'all caught me. An investigator later recalled that there was not a policeman in that room that did not want to kill him for his confession.
Absolutely.
He did tell them that his primary accomplice had been Butts, with Miley and Monroe being active accomplices in other murders. He was physically linked to many murders by blood and semen stains, carpet fibers that were found from the van.
Hell no.
Upon 3 victims' bodies, they had discovered hair samples, which were an exact match for William Bonin, and medical evidence revealed that 6 of the murders for which William was charged were committed by a unique windlass strangulation method, which was later referred to the.
Is that the one with the pipe turning?
Yeah. It was a signature, a trademark. That
was him.
Yeah.
That's fucking sick.
So initially, he was arraigned for the murder of Grabs on July 5th. By July 29th, he had been charged with an additional 15 murders to which he had confessed, and upon which the prosecution believed they had enough evidence to obtain a conviction. In addition to the 16 murder, he was also charged with 11 counts of robbery, 1 count of sodomy, and 1 count of mayhem. He was held without bond. On August 8th, all charges were formally submitted. 3 days later, at this point, he was without legal representation. He was appointed attorney Earl Hansen to act as his legal representative, and he remained his attorney until October 1981 when William replaced him with William Charvet and Tracy Stewart.
Can you imagine representing somebody like that, or those?
So
what do you even try to, like, Your Honor? What do we say? Why are we even bothering doing this?
Like,
I know everybody is entitled to a defense, but like, what do you say besides, yeah, they're criminally insane? That's the only thing I got, Your Honor. They gotta be fucking nuts. You can't give no justification.
Nope.
Well, of course, they started getting the accomplices and the co-defendants. Of course, Butts was like, I'm innocent. Then eventually he confessed. And on November 14th, 1980, he was brought before court. He was formally charged with participating in the murders, and his trial was scheduled for July 27th, 1981. On July 31st, Monroe was arrested in his hometown, Michigan. He was then extradited to California, charged with the murder of Wells. He pleaded innocent to all charges against him on August 14th. On August 22nd, Miley, who was at that point 19 years old, was arrested in Texas. He was charged by California with the murders of Miranda and McCabe. He was arrested after discussing his role in a recorded conversation with a friend.
People are so dumb.
On December 18th, he pleaded not guilty to 2 charges of first-degree murder, but at 2 pretrial hearings, he eventually switched his stuff to guilty. So, to let y'all know, they were all found guilty.
Good.
Because they should have been.
And I'm going to tell y'all what they all received. So, Mr. Let's see. Gregory Matthew Miley. He was sentenced for first-degree murder, and he got 25 years to life. William Ray Pugh. Wait
a minute. 25 to life is all he got?
William Ray Pugh. He was charged with voluntary manslaughter. He got 6 years.
6?
James Michael.
You know what, Mary? This story is not getting better.
This
6 years?
I ain't even gonna hold you up. It's been fucked up.
James Michael Monroe. He was charged with second-degree murder, and he got 15 years to life.
The fuck out of here.
Mr. Vernon Robert Butts, while he was in Los Angeles County Jail, committed suicide.
All right, that's an acceptable ending. Next.
Then Mr. William Bonin, our main star, he was sentenced to death. And he was executed February 23rd, 1996, in the execution chamber at San Quentin State Prison. He was the first California inmate to be executed by lethal injection.
Perfect. Did it go wrong?
Warden Arthur Calderon.
Sometimes there's incidents when it's the new thing.
They gave the order to begin the execution at 12:09 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And he was pronounced dead at 12:13 a.m. He spent his last day visiting with friends.
Should have slow rotted.
At about 6 p.m., he was escorted into the Death Watch cell for his last meal. He requested 2 large pepperoni and sausage pizzas, 3 pints of coffee ice cream, and 3 6-packs of regular Coca-Cola.
He was trying to go out with the bubble guts.
I'm surprised he didn't.
Y'all finna get all this when I die.
I'm surprised he didn't ask for a fucking cheeseburger.
I'm surprised he didn't either. So during the evening, he was visited by the warden and the Catholic chaplain. At 11:30 p.m., he gave the following last words.
No one
to
cares. No one
His final words were,
Here we go. It's about to piss me off, I can tell.
Yeah. That I feel the death penalty is not an answer to the problems at hand. That I feel it sends the wrong message to the youth of the country. Young people act as they see other people acting instead of as people tell them to act. And I would suggest that when a person has a thought of doing anything serious against the law, that before they did, that they should go to a quiet place and think about it seriously.
Boy, go to hell. Well, you already did, but.
I'm sick of this story.
This story done pissed me off.
This done pissed me off so bad. I think that people should go to a quiet place and think about it. Well, why the fuck didn't you go to a quiet place and think about it?
Can't even take your own fucking advice.
Well, he, so,
Girl.
I'm just going to read the victims' names again. So we have Dennis Frank Fox, who was 17, Glenn Barker, 14,
Babies.
Russell Rowe, 15, Lawrence Sharp, 17, Marcus Grab, 17, Donald Hayden, 15, David Murillo, 17, Charles Miranda, 15, James McCabe, 12, Ronald Gatlin, 19, Harry Todd Turner, 14, Stephen Wood, 16, Darren Lee Kendrick, 19, Stephen J. Wells, 18, Harold T., 15, his last victim but was not killed. And there was talk that they suspected him of more.
Well, he said it was 21.
Yeah. So.
That is so sad. That is the most... I think to date, this is the worst story we've ever covered.
Definitely.
This is the most awful shit I have ever fucking heard.
I said that? Yeah, they have it where his victims are 21 to 36 plus.
Oh my goodness. It started out like shit.
And it
ended like shit.
Anyway.
What about that one? Hold on. I want to know about the fucking one that got 6 years. What's that piece of shit doing?
Okay, hold on. I'll tell you.
That motherfucker done went and started walking scot-free, living his life. That's a rat, baby.
Let me see.
I hope he freaking get an ass beaten every time somebody look up. I really do. Just walk out the house. Yeah, like right in the face.
Imagine you get your ass beat
every fucking day
for simply doing basic tasks.
Hell yeah. What the
I'm gonna go walk the dog.
So it was Miley that only got the 6 years, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So Miley and Monroe testified against Bonin, and they described in graphic detail the murders. In his testimony, Monroe stated that shortly after the murder of Wells, he and William drove to a McDonald's restaurant and purchased hamburgers with $10 taken from Wells' wallet.
Fat bucks.
Why do y'all motherfuckers
Miley testified to his participation in the murders of Miranda and McCabe, describing in graphic detail how the two victims were beaten and tortured, and how he heard a bunch of bones cracking.
Oh my god.
He continued his testimony with the words, "The kid vomited. I jumped down on him the same way, killing the guy." And the fact that man only got 6 years is insane.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait, what was his name again? I want to see what this motherfucker doing.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking right now. No, he not. He probably still living his freaking jacked up, disgusting life.
I'm looking. Cut. So I can edit it out.
This is awful.
You looking it up?
No, I didn't see it.
His name is
Matthew
Miley. Gregory Matthew Miley.
Matthew Miley.
But I did have a little bit tidbit, some information from his mother and two brothers after he was convicted.
Okay.
They actually tried to persuade a jury to spare his life, and they testified, well, he was beaten and sexually molested as a youth.
Died Wednesday. He died in 2016.
Good for him.
Good job. Alice Benton told the jury in the penalty trial that her husband was a heavy drinker who often beat her and the children. Robert, William's brother, older brother, said his brother had been sexually molested in a detention home at the age of 10. He also said he had changed after serving in Vietnam, but did not elaborate. Mrs. Benton testified that there was a conflict between her and her son over his homosexuality, and said he sometimes brought young boys to his home. She said he had never harmed the youths, however.
He was killed in prison. Miley was killed in prison. I'm happy about that result.
Okay. Yeah.
Look at his.
Well, then he obviously got more than 6 years because he was young when he went.
No, he probably went to jail for something else.
That's why I was. Oh, okay. So then Paul, the younger brother, said he had often seen his brother with young males but never saw him harm them. And it's like, what is y'all point of saying this when he's already confessed to all of the graphic details that he said he did to these young boys?
Mm-hmm.
So there was one comment that the police had described him as
fucking sick.
They basically was like he was like evil, reincarnated or something like that.
You know what? That's not fair though. That's his family speaking?
No, this was a cop that said that.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say you created the evil. So what you mean evil reincarnate? You made it.
So, Prosecutor Sterling Norris, I'm just throwing in little tidbits, said that in the slayings he admitted included the deaths of 4 youths for which William faces additional murder charges. He then went on in details of the confession. He said that William told them that he and Larry Sharp, a 15-year-old boy, one of the Long Beach youth who was killed in March of 1980, had once been very close. He used the word lover.
You can't be a lover, sir, of a child, and you're a grown-ass man. It's called rape.
He said William Oakes added that he just got up one morning and decided I was tired of having him around and I killed him.
Oh my god. All these...
This was heavy.
I'm so done.
Yes, and we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah, thank God we're gonna have drinks. Shit, I need a fucking drink after this. This is rough.
Yes. So this was an awful case. But again, we always put the information out there because we want the victims to be known.
Absolutely.
We want their names to be out there, and so we do ask that if you have any stories that you would like us to cover, that you please leave a comment, send us an email at murkedinthemidwest@gmail.com. You can follow us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Like and subscribe. Please share this video, and happy St. Patrick's Day. What a way to start your day.
Oh my god.
Bye.